Welcome, everybody, to another episode of FEI Freight Executive Insights. I'm not the executive with the insights. This time, it's Brian AuBuchon. I was going to butcher his name, but I cheated and asked him. And indeed, it is French. So go ahead and say AuBuchon. It's kind of fun to say that. Brian, welcome, brother. How are you?
I'm doing great, Michael. Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on and taking the time, man. There's a lot of people that they're like, nah, I'm not interested. I'm like, really? You don't want to get out there and get your name out there and your company's name out there? Really? Is business that good for you right now that you need to hide?
Yeah, I doubt that's the case in many instances, but nevertheless, hey, take every opportunity to get our word out.
Absolutely. And, networking and getting to know everybody and is absolutely not. You're going to do business with people you know and you trust before those you're not, when all else is given, is equal, right? Correct. So tell me, Brian, what are you doing there? I see TAB LLC back there. I know it's Artur. Is it Artur Express?
It is Artur Express. Express is the parent company, and then underneath the umbrella there, we have Artur Express, which is our asset division. We run about 850 trucks, about 4,400 trailers.
Oh, so you guys are really small. Nobody's ever heard of
Artur. Small fish. And then also TAB is our brokerage.
So it's TAB, not TAB.
Yeah, either one.
Okay. Does it stand for something?
It's the two owners of the company are Tom and Artur. So the TEA is Tom and Artur Brokerage, essentially.
Gotcha. Okay. Very cool.
And then we also have a couple other divisions. We also have another 3PL underneath our umbrella, which is called GHC Services. We also have a staffing company called Ameripol, which is actually headquartered in Poland, or it's actually the location is in Poland. And then we also have a factoring company called Accelerate that we just launched this year as well.
Oh, fantastic! So I know what does GHC Services do?
It's a 3PL that manages, some of our larger customers that, from a contract freight perspective. So it's really a 3PL model versus TAB is more of a, I would say, more of a transactional type of a brokerage.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, gotcha. So you got them separated and not in the same basket. That's yes. So who is Brian AuBuchon? How did you get into this, my friend? Did you lose a bet or?
It was really by dumb luck about 30 years ago. I was in retail management for the longest time, and started a family, and I realized retail management probably wasn't the most conducive thing for family life. So I chose to explore the market out there, and I came across this ad, quite honestly, in the St. Louis newspaper. It said for a logistics coordinator, and I thought, that sounds interesting. I have no idea what it is, but I'm going to apply. So I did, and was fortunate enough to get hired on. And I was a logistics coordinator that, we moved freight for a local St. Louis-based company. It was a warehousing, trucking, logistics company as well. As it is with this industry, you either seem to last a small amount of time or you're a lifer. And it just so happened that I'm a lifer, apparently. So, like I say, I've moved around a couple different locations, a couple different companies, but Artur Express, I've been here almost 10 years, actually 10 years in about 2 weeks. So that's my second largest time I've spent with any organization. I was with that original company that I mentioned. It was a company that was purchased by Jacobson, and then it gobbled up a couple more times after that. But I was with them for about 17 years, and always on the logistics side, but always with asset-based carriers. So my forte was always more on the non-asset side, but dabbled in the on the asset side. Whether it was for a specific logistics opportunity or otherwise.
So were you not able to get back into retail, or did you actually find that this was better than retail management because
Oh, well,
there's a lot of brokers and logistics guys, even on the asset side, that would argue that maybe it wasn't such a great move. I
you
don't know.
know, I don't know. In retrospect, maybe, but no. It truly, logistics really excites me, to be honest with you, because
Yeah.
it's the lifeblood. I mean, there's nothing happens if it doesn't happen on a truck. So you really feel like you're a bigger part of more than just stocking the shelves for the sale that's going to come up and have customers just decimate them so you can restock them again. It's and to me it was more challenging, yet rewarding. And and obviously the longer you're in it, you develop a relationship, you develop a lot of practices and so forth that at some point you just don't want to leave.
Yeah.
You want to see it through, and that's
No,
really
I
what.
get it. I get it. I've got 35 years plus in logistics, and it's the new puzzle every day that is so it is gratifying. And even though the rest of the country only recognizes what we do every once in a while, like during the pandemic and stuff like that, you know that you're a hero for the economy, and that's gratifying enough for me.
We usually wear capes and so forth around the
Yeah.
office, but we usually take them off when we go outside.
Yeah, you don't get braggadocious about it or anything like that. Why would you do that? So let's get into Arturo and TAB. What is so 800 plus trucks on the asset side? Where do you guys go to? What do you guys cover? Is it all reefer? Is it all? I mean,
Well,
not like
we're,
cannabis, but you know what I'm saying.
yeah, yeah. No, we're based here in the Midwest in the St. Louis, Missouri area. We run local, regional, and over the road. Um, we also run team service. The majority of our fleet are pulling dry vans. We have a
Gotcha.
reefer division that is made up of about 75 power units and 75
Okay.
trailers. We prefer, obviously, with our truck to trailer ratio, we prefer drop and hook, which is much more efficient for our drivers. It's more effective and efficient for our shippers and our customers as well.
Sure.
We also have a lot of dedicated accounts that we're running regionally that are consume a lot of trailers, and
Hmm.
that's pretty much who we are. Like I say, we run coast to coast. Really, if you draw a line from North Jersey to Northern Cal, you're going to find 85% of our trucks are south of that line.
Yeah.
We don't do a
Good
lot of them
plan. It's a
west or up in
solid.
the.
That is a solid plan.
Yeah, yeah. We try to stay out of. We go where we have our customers, and we go where we're strong. We
Yeah.
don't want to try to be something that we're not. I mean, even with 850 trucks, you can't do that. I mean, if you can, it's easy to get yourself spread out too thin. I don't care how big you are, and
Yeah.
then not service your customers properly, and therefore you don't need 850 trucks anymore.
Yeah, you say yes to everything, and you wind up with all kinds of imbalances and deadheads and pissed off drivers and stressed out recruiters and big fuel
Yeah,
bills and all kinds of garbage.
all of those things, and the more we do this, the smarter we think we're getting, and we try to learn something every day, and in many cases we're a much better company, this week than we were last week, and
Yeah,
we take that approach every single day, and what may have worked in the past may not work now, or what doesn't isn't in our repertoire now, maybe in 3 weeks or in a month from now too. So we're
yeah,
always open and looking for opportunities, but we really want to give them a litmus test before we just dive in. We want to be
gotcha.
anything we do, we want to be successful at, and we don't take any opportunity lightly. But at the same time, we explore every opportunity.
I gotcha. So the addition was TAB in addition to Artur Express or the
Yeah,
opposite?
Artur Express Incorporated started actually September 11th of last year was our 25th anniversary. So we've been
Oh,
in the
okay.
industry for 25 years. We've had our brokerage license, our authority, a few years less than that, but as far as really operating the TAB MC number, it's really the last 17 years or so, we've been pretty active with it. So
Yeah.
it was always there, but it was, I guess when you open up a trucking company in the past or even present, you usually open up two different authorities, brokerage and a carrier
Sure.
authority. So so we did that, but it really became something that we were active with in the last 15 to 18 years.
Cool. So, Brian, do you guys cross pollinate the customers through that? Is it like a value add on for your customers type of thing? Like,
Yeah,
here
it
that
truly
base, but
is.
you can cover everything, or how does that work?
We try to sell service to customers.
Yeah.
Whether it's on an outside carrier or whether it's on an asset.
Yeah.
And in that respect, some customers are open to that. Depends on the industry. Right now, maybe not as much. Everybody with the capacity, the way that it is in the marketplace, they're like, no, only want your trucks, only want your trucks. And but yeah, there is a lot of crossover there. We do have many customers that say, you know what, we like your rates, we like your service, we like the communication, we like the infrastructure that you have set up around the customer service aspect of it. Let's give you the freight, and all I want to know is that you pick it up and deliver it on time and bill me the same every time and
I
accurately.
got you. Yeah. So they don't. You got customers that enjoy the service and the capabilities to cover drop loads or whatever happens to be with that added service, as long as the rates are the same, because your service is great, right? And then you have
Correct.
others that say, nope, keep me only asset. So you do that and you keep them separated.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Yeah. We know.
fantastic.
Yeah,
That's
we know which ones
fantastic.
we can, and on the ones that we can, obviously, honestly, the ones that give us the opportunity to utilize our brokerage more than just the asset
Sure.
side. Honestly, they have better opportunities. I mean, because one load equals one truck. Something happens to that truck, you may have a service issue. But if we have the opportunity to pick it up on an outside carrier that's contracted and proven, and
Or
part of
vice versa, right?
exactly, now
Yeah.
it gives them much more flexibility and helps us as a provider to make sure that we give them the service that they deserve.
Right. Does it, so it also gives you expanded services, right? I mean, you said you're primarily dry van. You've got a 75 unit strong reefer division through your TAB. You bring in just about any mode now, right? I mean, it
Sure.
just bring in the brokerage expert on that particular mode, even heavy haul and out of gauge, right? Is a possibility if you want it.
Absolutely. I mean, we haul on our logistics side. We can manage your LTL freight. We can manage your flatbed freight. We can manage your oversized to your point,
Yeah.
whatever it takes. Drayage. We offer it expands our service level that we can give to all of our customers.
Yeah, fantastic. So let's talk about the market right now, right? I mean, it's everybody's hoping for this trough to end and start an uptick. How are you guys surviving on both sides, really, asset and non-asset, coming out of the anomalous highs that we saw in the early 2020s?
Surviving is probably a good word for it,
Yeah,
because unfortunately there's a lot that aren't surviving. We anticipated them there being, anybody that's been in this industry for a long period of time knows that there's ebbs and flows, there's peaks and valleys within this industry.
I agree with you, Brian. But I'm going to tell you, in my 36 years, it seems like I had to remind people that winter comes every year.
It is shocking. It is shocking, and you mean Christmas comes at the end of December every?
What? You
It,
mean there's
it,
going to be a lull at the end of December? What are you talking about?
it's hard to believe. It's unfathomable, but nevertheless, yes, we say it with a grin on our face. Yes, it happens, and it will happen again next year. You can plan on it. However, I do think that the we understood during 21, 22 when everything was from a transportation perspective was booming. We anticipated there's no way it could maintain those levels. It's unsustainable. But when we anticipated it going down, I don't know that we anticipated it going down as deep, or more importantly, as long as it has been.
Yeah.
And and that's really where we've had to retool. We've had to rethink some of the things that we're doing. From how are we buying our trailer parts? And we used to get them at a local dealer, and now we actually source them, in a larger quantity because the cost is a third as opposed to what it
Yeah.
used to be. So, I mean, we look everywhere we can to say, you know what, we can't we can't just change our organization as it is, but we have to improve it a little bit more. Honestly, when things are going well, you don't have a huge incentive to scrutinize every little aspect of your organization. When
Right.
times are not going well, you find time
Yeah.
to scrutinize every single aspect of your organization. And it's amazing that, and I don't care how well run a company is, and I think that we are very, very well ran. But I think there's always opportunities that we can improve.
Yeah,
Um,
you always have to have self awareness and self checks and plan, do, check, act. It's been proven to actually work. I've heard.
100%. If you don't look, you're not going to find it. But if you think it's not there, you're probably kidding yourself.
That's what I used to LTL. We always said, if you don't think you have a theft problem, you got a big theft problem.
Yeah,
And if you think you've got a theft problem,
you got a
you
bigger
still
one.
got a theft problem. Right.
You are
Uh,
correct. Yeah.
it's just the way it is. Uh, that's interesting. So, as you know, what is your view, or what is the perspective there as far as, because you've got a unique perspective. You're in the asset side, rather sizable uh, asset side, and you're also in the non-asset side, and so you're touching some smaller type of carriers through that, and also a different service. Obviously, are they both equally hitting, or do you see customers leaning towards one side over another? Because when times were hurting right before COVID, right? If you remember, I mean, obviously you remember, but the small guys and things were getting dumped into grease because people were looking for service, because that which was moving had to get there because there wasn't any real business, right? So you had to protect that service, and they went towards an Artur Express instead of Arthur, or something like that, right?
Right. Well, we've gone through a lot of changes
Yeah.
within the organization, and we typically, when you have an asset division and a non-asset division, when one is up, the others, they sort of counterbalance each other.
Right. Right.
Um, Unfortunately, that what we're experiencing right now is almost it's a phenomenon that we don't like necessarily, and that we're both not doing great.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still doing fine, but not as good as we were. We're still the wheels are turning. We've got all of our trucks moving. We've got things happening, but the facts are on the asset side. Our costs are way up, but the rates are way down. That's a very bad combination.
It's not a good one. It's not a good combination. Do you attribute some of it to um, the really the acceptance of the brokerage experience by the shippers, because really the service and the experience has improved so much over like the last 5 to 10 years? It used to be the brokerages, especially the smaller one, they get tossed in the grease quick. And even the smaller trucking, it was the behemoth, it was the big trucking guys, the Artur Express, the 800, the 1,000, the 12. Those guys didn't know what was coming in the economy as fast as the five truck guys did. That
Well,
is there a difference now in that mix and that change?
you know, I I'm sure there is, but I think everybody's just almost at the end of their rope here. So I mean,
Yeah.
everything seems to be a little bit more um, catastrophic. Um, not to overstate it, but at the same
If
time,
catastrophic's not an overstatement, then we're really in trouble.
well, it's not good. Let's but the fact that this has been happening now for 15 months or so, where we've
Yeah,
really seen the
that's the
downturn.
problem.
So it's everybody's. The smaller guys probably realized it first.
Sure.
The guys that came on in 21 and 22 when everything was boom. Um, you know, those guys probably experienced it instantly. Where the guys that had been around a lot longer, like ourselves, we knew that there was going to be a rainy day, so we were smart, and
Yeah.
we didn't go on a spending spree, and we put things in place and put put things away that we're going to enable us to enforce.
How did you guys handle the customer experience during that time of boom? Because a lot of people, they just, they expanded and they went for it, and service wasn't all that great for their, core
Yeah,
customers,
yeah, it's funny. I was just talking to my director of logistics earlier today, and during that 21-22, it was prior to that, if you had a load that was late and you caused an out of stock, oh my gosh, the sky was falling. You were lambasted. You were called out publicly. 21-22, they're like, you have a truck? Yeah. When can you get it there? Uh, just get it whenever you can, and service really almost took a back seat to
Ah,
getting it covered.
yeah,
Now, on the other, I think that's gone a little bit full circle now, where the shippers right now are demanding low prices and good service. So, I mean, it's sometimes those things don't necessarily go hand in hand, but whenever you have a capacity glut like we are experiencing right now, um, you can, and the reality is, if you don't like the provider that's giving you the low rate or the good service, you've got 5 or 10 or 20 other people that are standing in line saying, "Hey, give me a chance." So,
that's absolutely true, and
so
at a cheaper rate.
yeah, they could probably do it cheaper. Whether they can do it better, a lot of the business that we do has some idiosyncrasies to it, and it's not something that is just pick up freight point A and deliver freight point B. It's cross docking. It's waiting for things to come up over the border, whatever the case may be. It's a you know it's production stuff with production that changes hourly. So you
Yeah,
have to be able to turn on a dime and to manage and exceed the expectations of these customers. And sometimes if a customer just goes and looks for price, they're not going to buy that experience that somebody like us that's been doing it for a while, or any other that's had a customer for a long time.
yeah,
Um, Sometimes we know their business better than they do. I talked to a transportation guy, and I can tell him about the guys out in their plant in Pennsylvania, how they ran their business, and they're like, really, I didn't know that. So they just look at it from their perspective of, I got to get a lower price on this rate. Here's the lane, bid on it, and then they're out of it. So, but those are the kind of relationships that, as a customer, you really want to. My my sale to all of our customers is, don't take that lightly, because you know what, you may get a better price, but you're not going to get somebody that knows your business or can manage your business like those that have been doing it for a long time. And that's something that a lot of people learn the hard way, when they realize, oh, they saved $50 on a load, but now they've got a down line because inbound bottles or inbound resin or something didn't come in, and now there's downstream costs that are much greater than the $50 that they saved, in theory, by changing the routing on those lanes.
yeah,
So it's, I get it from a shipper perspective. The shoe's sort of on the other foot, because in 21-22, when capacity was super tight, the carriers and the logistics providers were going to their shippers saying, "Hey, the rates are what they are because there was more demand than there was capacity, so you had to pay more." The worm sort of turned a little bit now, and they're on the other side saying, "Hey, remember all those rate increases? Well, guess what? It's coming the other way now." And I understand that's always been logistics, that's always been trucking, that's always been
yeah.
transportation. It's just the extent at where we're at now is a little bit unprecedented if you look back historically.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. Well, I think inflation is pushing that envelope a little further as well. Like you said, it's costing more with lower rates to operate your business, and it makes it more difficult,
Yeah,
right?
I
So
mean,
that
when
push to a lower price over service, it sometimes isn't really a choice.
yeah, I mean, when our average cost um, per mile is in the $2.40 range, and you've got customers asking you to haul loads for $1.40 plus fuel.
Wait a minute. Let me get my calculator out.
Yeah, I don't think that's a winner.
No, that's a loser.
Then they're like, well, but that's a backhaul. It's like, well, no, because we got $2.10 going there. So
yeah, right.
Let's do the math. And no, it still doesn't work.
Yeah.
But the problem is if carriers and logistics providers right now are sort of in a survival mode, they're going to do whatever they can to last and survive. And unfortunately, that isn't going to be the case. I mean, we've seen a lot of announcements lately. Where
it seems like they're continue to. Yeah, it seems like they continue to pick up steam. But listen, it's been great talking to you, Brian. And I was going to end on the note when you're talking about the customers, but you got to keep with those people that have been doing your business for a while, because saving $50 can cost you 75 to 100 down the line. And that's the 110-100 rule that they pounded into our head back in the early 80s at Roadway Express. One last thing, any parting thoughts? Where do you see the market going? Is it turning around tomorrow or next week or in 10 years? What do you see?
I wish I could tell you definitively. I mean, we're optimistic about fourth quarter, but realistic about 25. That's what we're seeing. All the hopes of visions of grandeur that we've experienced and up to this time sort of end up being mirages, unfortunately. So, we see little blips and blurbs, but nothing sustained yet. But, I hopefully for the industry, excuse me, I would like to see it fourth quarter, but we're anticipating first quarter.
Awesome. Okay. Cool. Thanks for the insights. Brian AuBuchon, where are they going to find out more and give you guys all the freight? There's like 1,000 loads about to hit your inbox right now.
Fantastic. Send it to, ArturExpress.com is our website. TAB LLC.com is our website for our brokerage. But you can send it to myself, Brian A. at ArturExpress.com. I'll make sure, excuse me, I will make sure the right people get it and respond appropriately.
Excellent. Thank you so much, my friend. Everybody, thanks for tuning in and listening. Brian, fantastic, brother. I hope you have a great day, my friend. See you next time, people.
I appreciate it.